Yo, it's your boy Tunnel Vision. We are back for a quick one. Yo, so Anthony Joshua screaming out how he wants undisputed next year, undisputed in 2020, and he wants the fans to start screaming it. You know what I mean? To start making it trend. You know, that's what he wants. He wants to fight the winner of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, preferably Deontay Wilder. You know, because he has the belt and he wants to do this for undisputed. And should we believe this man? Does he really want that work? Does he really want to get things popping? No, he doesn't. You can't believe anything that he's saying just due to the fact that you have to sit back and think. I mean, just a second ago, you were saying that, you know, after your fight, number one, you said you weren't going to celebrate, and you were celebrating all over the place, you know. And then number two, you said you didn't want to hear anything about Deontay Wilder. You didn't want to hear anything about Tyson Fury. You said you're just gonna focus on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna focus on your next goal, and that's it. You said you're not gonna look further into the future. Your whole mindset is gonna be just to look at what's in front of you. Because if you don't look in front of you, I guess what he's basically saying is things like the Andrew Ruiz situation can happen. Yet now you're talking about a Deontay Wilder fight. And then the biggest thing is that for weeks now, even months now, your promoter has been, who's also the promoter of Usyk, has said that Usyk's next fight is going to be for a championship belt, and it's going to be for a vacant belt, because basically saying that you're going to get stripped for the WBA belt. You know, so because Eddie Hearn, he can't keep his mouth closed. He has to regurgitate everything that he's going to do out. He just can't do it. So we know that, you know, and then the WBO or whatever just said that, you know, mandated you to fight your mandatory, which is Usyk, which obviously you can't do because you also have your IBF mandatory that you have to do next, and, you know, it looks like you're going to fight your IBF mandatory, because if you don't fight your IBF mandatory, that belt is gone. You know, Kawanaki would fight for that belt, he'll win that belt, and he'll be fighting Deontay Wilder at the Barclays in a unification about mid-year probably. That's what would happen. So we know you're going to fight for the IBF, and then, you know, Usyk will be fighting for that belt, for the other belt, which then, obviously, they can't be undisputed, clearly, which means that, you know, you're going to be fighting Alexander Usyk to get your belt back in the UK, which is a good storyline. But Eddie Hearn's been telling us all this information, so we know that you know all this information as well. So if you know all this information, I mean, it's like, how can he even believe you in what you're saying? You know, the day that, if they truly wanted it and they wanted to make that fight, it's very simple. They'd be like, yo, we're giving you your 50%. We're going to split everything right down the middle. You know, clearly, I mean, the smart thing to do would be to have in the United States on Fox pay-per-view. You'd be working a deal with them, and he's not, you know, Anthony Joshua is not signed to the zone, anything like that, so they could do something like that. Or he would just be like, yo, we're going to have this bout, and whether it be in the UK, United States, and we're going to give you 50 out down the middle. And let's just get this done. Because Deontay Wilder's not accepting anything under that. And they know this. You know, he's going to want it straight down the middle. Or he's not going to do it. So if he truly wanted to do it, that's what he would have said, and that's what he would make that part of his statement. He'd be like, I want this end of the year, and 50-50 down the line, like he said he wanted. Let's go. F the money, F the location. We can do all the location, all that other stuff. We can negotiate that. But right now, that 50-50 you wanted, let's do it. Right down the middle. All the drug testing you want, let's do it. Because I want this fight and I want it ASAP. But, you know, that's not going to be the case. And we also have to remember what Barry Hearn always said. Hey, if he could go 10 years and Anthony Joshua could be undefeated and never fight Deontay Wilder, he'd be cool with that. He'd be happy with that. Obviously, Anthony Joshua took a loss. You know, he came back. He was able to get his titles back. You know, and all they're going to do is just set up another long-term plan. Their long-term plan is to make as much money off this kid as they possibly can. To fleece, milk him, whatever you can say, for as long as they can. And Deontay Wilder is not in those plans at all. Zero. If Deontay Wilder broke down to the point where he wasn't looking as good, maybe they would do it. But even then, it's dangerous because this guy gets touched. We still see him we still saw him get touched by Andy Ruiz. In his last fight, as slow as Andy Ruiz was, he still touched him with those short arms and that big giant new body that he had, slow as hell. He still was able to do it. So even if Deontay Wilder slowed down, they say power is the last thing to go, and that happens to be his biggest weapon. And he keeps getting better. And now he's catching guys with clean shots. It's because he's catching with clean shots. There ain't no them getting up and him having to go and finish it. He's just catching them once and they're staying down because he's hitting them with precise, deadly shots. And he's actually getting better. He's getting better, which is scary. So, see Anthony Joshua, every time he gets touched, he's still it's looking a little shaky. Don't see them going that route. Don't see them going that route whatsoever. So unfortunately, it's just talk. I mean, it's smart on their part because they're going to be doing this fight, this IBF mandatory fight. And it's not going to necessarily be, a big fight like that. In the UK is going to be hyped up because Anthony Joshua's coming back and he's coming back with the belt. So they're going to be happy with that and they're going to want to see that. But, I mean, the boxing world's not going to really be hyped up like that over it. The whole focus is going to be all about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That's what the entire focus is going to be on in the next, especially when that promotion starts kicking off. That's all the boxing world is going to be talking about until they fight in February. So hey, attach your name to them, and so they can talk about you, and people can, be enamored with your event and be focused on your event, because of the potential of what might happen after that. What Top Rank does with their fighters, which they would have been doing if Earl Spence was around. They would have been doing when it came to the Terrence Crawford fight. But clearly, we know that Errol Spence fight isn't going to happen anytime soon. So, that's where the Canelo talks started. That's why all of a sudden, he's okay with maybe doing a Sean Porter fight next, Bob Arum, which he's not. Terrence Crawford's fighting in South Africa in this next fight. But unfortunately, Undisputed isn't happening no time soon. No time soon. Especially with it if Wilder still has that belt, or Tyson Fury. They're both bad matches for Anthony Joshua, and I don't see him facing either one of them. But what I do believe though is that he's going to get caught again, just like he got caught up in. I've always believed, just from seeing him fight and everything, I was like, you know what? He's not going to get beat by Fury or Wilder because he's not going to fight them, but he's going to get caught them by a cherry pick gone wrong. And he did it once, and it's going to happen again. He's not completely healed from that first fight. He's not. And if he gets touched, the same type of things are going to happen with him again. So, I don't know if it's going to be this fight. I don't think Usyk gives him any problems, but we'll see. We'll have to see in the next fight and see how Usyk looks. I believe he's going to be facing Parker, probably, when that belt gets dropped. If he faces Adam Kalinowski, Adam Kalinowski is lighting that boy up. He's putting him to sleep if they fight each other. That's my personal belief in that. But, until that actually gets set up and all these, things start to drop, we'll see what happens after that. But Undisputed 2020, get that trending. Nah, don't waste your breath or time. Because all you're doing is wasting it. Because it ain't happening. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.